Good afternoon, everyone. JK here. Today is Sunday, January 17th. Hope everyone is having a nice weekend. Today in Jaguar Consumer, I'm going to profile Boot Barn Holdings, ticker BOOT. This is a name I've covered periodically in weekend research, homepage, conversations. But back on Friday, January 8th, after the market closed, the company announced preliminary Q3 results in which EPS came in at $1 versus 83 cents estimate. Revenue came in at $302.3 million versus $298.65 estimate. Company said it expects net sales to increase 6.5% and same-store sales to increase 4.6%. And this includes retail same-store sales up 1.9% and e-commerce sales up 16.3%. These figures were well above estimates, and comp trends even showed sequential improvement. I'd say solid improvement from Q2, where comps were down 5.1%. Piper Sandler was out with a note after this saying that for the first 2 weeks of this year, Boot Barn has seen comp acceleration to positive low double digits. And management noted that the strength here was broad-based and maybe benefiting somewhat from stimulus checks. And, looking ahead, the company is going to be going up against some relatively easy comparisons. So for Q4 from a year ago, net sales were down 2.1%, comps were down 4.7%. And this was just when COVID started to hit. And then in Q1 of last year, you saw net sales down 20.5%, comps down 14.9%. So, we've seen a nice acceleration, a nice bounce back for Boot Barn. So, for the rest of this year, going up against these comps will be somewhat easy, as they say. A couple other items I want to highlight in terms of sales tailwinds. JP Morgan analyst Matt Boss was out with a note recently saying that looking ahead, he sees acceleration in the Western category, which makes up 70% of total revenue, due to a quote-unquote casualization tailwind. So first off, he notes commentary from Contour Brands, ticker KTB. This company was spun off from VF Corp, and they offer and sell some iconic brands such as Wrangler and Lee. Wrangler happens to make up 8% of Boot Barn sales. But the CEO of Contour Brands, Scott Baxter, said, "I think the category is just absolutely terrific right now. There is a casualization that's happening globally, and we're right in the sweet spot of it." They also cited Levi Strauss CEO Chip Bergh, who noted through the pandemic, we've seen an acceleration of the trend towards casualization globally. So in JP Morgan's view, Boot Barn's strong casual wear assortment of national brands, Levi, Wrangler, coupled with exclusive brand penetration with offerings from Cody James and Cheyenne, that's going to help drive customer loyalty, that's going to help drive sales. In addition, you have celebrity partnerships from country stars such as Brad Paisley, who offers the Moonshine Spirit brand, Miranda Lambert, who offers the Idle Win brand. This was all in conjunction with the company's launch of Just Country a couple months ago. This is a casual, recreational assortment of clothing that management sees potential to comprise a low to mid-single digit penetration of sales over time. Piper Sandler said that according to management, they're pleased with the launch of this new segment because it's helping broaden the customer base by targeting more of a rugged customer that likes outdoor activities. Essentially this assortment, it's just, a jacket, jeans, ball cap, and this type of customer is prevalent across much of the U.S. It's very different than trying to sell, cowboy boots to someone in Seattle or a cowboy hat to someone in Pittsburgh. And the last thing I want to highlight, and this is certainly a wild card. If you go back to my original write-up in May, I talked about how Q4 historically skews heavily to the state of Texas due to an abundance of rodeos that happen in the month of March. And rodeos and live entertainment, I should say, because they sort of go together. But these events typically provide a catalyst for the company because it gets consumers in the door to buy their apparel in preparation for attending one of these events. But because of COVID, the rodeo landscape has certainly been affected. But fortunately, in 2021, there will be shows that are going to be moving forward, such as the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. That's going to be happening next month. Meanwhile, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, that got moved from March to May. But then you also have others like the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo that's been canceled altogether. So when the company reports its Q4 earnings in a few months, it will be interesting to see and hear if Rodeo's provided any sort of catalyst for the company. So that is going to do it for me today on this episode of Jaguar Consumer. Hope everyone has a nice rest of the weekend, and I will catch you on the next one.